Well, welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. So today I wanted to recommend 6 Incredible Hulk CGC 9.8 comic books that you can invest in. And I think there's something about Incredible Hulk comic books overall. Like maybe it's the allure of like how amazing Hulk 181 has done and like 180 and 182. I think too, like Hulk comic books, they just have really cool colors, I think. I think the simple reason for that, like Hulk being green, it sort of gives a cool like green base color to every cover, and then you throw in a couple other colors in there, and every cover seems really colorful and eye appealing. Also too, I feel like Hulk books in the Bronze Age in the CGC 9.8 are just in general maybe a little bit more affordable too, and there's a couple more undervalued ones I think in there. And what I want to say, obviously, too, Hulk 181, Incredible Hulk 181, and 180 and 182, all the issues involved with the Wolverine first appearance. Kind of want to focus on all the books sort of after that. Great issue to get. I think in the CGC 9.8, a 181 is like over $30,000, I believe, in the CGC 9.8. I think there's over 100 of them on the census, too, in the CGC 9.8 for Incredible Hulk 181. But kind of out of the price range here. So just want to stick to some affordable Incredible Hulk CGC 9.8 sort of after the Hulk 181 there. And kind of boiled it down to 6 Incredible Hulk CGC 9.8 comic books that you can invest in. So the first one is a really interesting book. I think it's a really good undervalued one. Incredible Hulk Annual number 5. Yeah, so in the CGC 9.8 here, I had a completed listing pop up too, which was cool to just get a current market price for this one. We'll get into that in the CGC 9.8, but Incredible Hulk Annual 5 is the second appearance of Groot. Yeah, so Groot, one of the most popular characters from the Guardians of the Galaxy team, the new team. And Groot's first appearance was actually in, Tales to Astonish number 13 way back in 1960. So this being his second sort of true appearance, and I say that because there was another appearance of Groot, but it was a reprint of Tales to Astonish 13 in another comic. So basically, I count that as just a reprint of the first print, not of the first appearance, not a second appearance. This book, I think, the true second appearance of Groot, all that Tales to Astonish 13 came out in 1960, and this book is a 1976 book. So, a good 16 years there until the second appearance of Groot. So this is almost like the first modern appearance of Groot. He's on the cover, really cool classic cover. So let's look at this one on the census, because kind of gets even better for this book. 36 of them in the CGC 9.8 out there in the blue label. So wow, a 1 of 36 collector item if you grab this one. And the CGC 9.8 ratio, 9.7%. So yeah, single digits, super rare. 1976 book, so you kind of expect these 9.8s to be pretty rare during this time, for sure. But still like to see the single digit 9.8 ratio. Those are all the rarest 9.8s have it, and of all graded copies, 9.7% of them are CGC 9.8s. Not too many graded either, so yeah, pretty, not well graded book. It definitely an undervalued one, as I sort of alluded to, underfollowed. So price, saying there that there was a completed listing recently, it went for $405 in the CGC 9.8. New case, looking really good in the photos, so I can understand that price for sure. Like if I look on Go Collect, it's I think it's like $290 they have the fair value at. So this is one that's not really searched that much. I said it's underfollowed, so you could probably get a better deal than the 405. But I think in this hot market, that 405 is a decent price for this single digit CGC 9.8 ratio, 1 of 36, pretty much the first modern appearance of Groot. 16 years that this came out 16 years after his first appearance. And I mean, Tales to Astonish 13 is probably one of the coolest Silver Age books to get. First appearance of Groot, awesome cover of him. Yeah, if you're a Silver Age guy, get that one if you haven't, Tales to Astonish 13. But a 9.8 is still affordable in this Incredible Hulk Annual number 5, and I just think it's a really good one. Kind of first modern appearance of Groot, second appearance of Groot, whatever you want to call it, right around that $400 range. With how this looks on the census, I think it's a great buy, and a good one to kind of get the list started off here. Next one's a good one too. Yeah, wow, all of these are great. Incredible Hulk 228. Yeah, so this one flies under the radar too. This is when Karla Sofen becomes the new Moonstone, and Moonstone's kind of like a villainess of Hulk's, and also she's like the arch nemesis of Carol Danvers, basically. So, to be honest, I haven't even watched the Captain Marvel movie or anything. I don't, I hadn't really gotten into it, or wasn't really kind of wanted to see it very much or anything. But is the Moonstone could be in that movie? I have no idea, to be honest. But being that she's an arch nemesis of Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, certainly possibilities for more promotion to come out in the future. Let's just say maybe some movies. On the census, though, for Hulk 228, cool cover on this one again. Like, yeah, just again, that sort of green Hulk with the purple pants just kind of sets off every cover, it seems. Yeah, they're so cool. 34 CGC 9.8, so this one, great, but one of 34 collector item for the first new Moonstone. Like, yeah, this is another one that's just a bit underfollowed and a great investment grade CGC 9.8 comic book. 18.3% is the CGC 9.8 ratio, so maybe not quite as low as the annual 5 there, but for a book where there's not very many graded, that's a good investment grade ratio. 18.3% of all graded copies are 9.8. So price for this one. There was a completed listing on eBay, but it was like a best offer, and they aren't really transparent about what the final price was. But on GoCollect, they're having the fair market value as $325 in the CGC 9.8. Interesting for this one, there is one on eBay right now, an auction, if you're interested. I'm watching it. I don't think I'm going to bid on it, but I'm watching it. So, yeah, if you're really liking this one. GoCollect says the fair market value is $325. I think maybe this auction in this hot environment could get up to 400. Hopefully it'll go less than 400, but it'll be interesting to kind of see what it ends at. But first new Moonstone, I'm not really into buy this because maybe she'll be in a movie, but this is a great cover. It's a great kind of Bronze Age Incredible Hulk sort of key issue that is overlooked. So, even if you don't really care what happens in the movies, I think this is just a cool one to get. A 1 of 34 in the CGC 9.8 blue label. Yeah, I love these ones, kind of. To just have a 1 of 34 collector item is a really good pride of ownership, I find, with certain books that are like this. So, next one here, a bit off the radar, too. There was another one we'll talk about for a sec that I definitely could have picked. But Incredible Hulk 255. Yeah, so this is a cool Hulk versus Thor cover. Really love this cover. More just about the cover on this one. It's not really like a key issue. And Hulk and Thor got their thing going for sure. Like, they've been in multiple comic stories together. Like, Thor Ragnarok was a really cool movie. And yeah, I think just Hulk and Thor on the cover here is the seller for me. A really cool, again, colorful cover. Really eye-appealing cover. 29 CGC 9.8s for this one. Yeah, this is not really a key issue. So it is just one of those where, not too many people are getting it graded because it just doesn't stand out as a huge key issue or anything. 33.3% of all graded copies are CGC 9.8. So, yeah, this is maybe one to even try to find in the raw and get graded, maybe like perfect ones. And because, kind of a higher 9.8 ratio with not a lot of 9.8s could be probably quite a few 9.8s out there in local comic bins, possibly. But great cover, again, more about that. Still a 1 of 29 collector item, so it's hard to find this one. Yeah, this is one I've mentioned before on the channel here as one that I would like to have, and I saw one sort of sell for like $80 in the CGC 9.8 before, and I was kind of hitting myself for not, bidding on that one. When we talk about prices, one of the more affordable ones, with the Hulk Thor cover, Hulk 255. In the CGC 9.8, mentioned I saw one maybe 6 months ago now, sell for about $80. And that, I think, is going to be rock bottom. I think in this environment, there's one on eBay, again, kind of a best offer where it's not transparent about the price, unfortunately. So, I think, though, I would be willing to pay up to $150 for this one, I think. If a really nice CGC 9.8 just popped up. There's a lot of sort of these, like, non-keys from this sort of mid to 80s era that if they're non-keys but great covers, they kind of go for like $150. I think Fantastic Four, that 241 is it, with the Galactus covers, kind of like that, where it'll go for about $150 for a nice one. Yeah, so $150 I would probably be willing to pay up to for an Incredible Hulk 255. Yeah, one to consider that. The other one that I was thinking of was Incredible Hulk 250 with a cool Silver Surfer Hulk cover. that's probably the more obvious pick, but I just decided to go with Hulk 255. But yeah, Hulk 251 to consider as well. Next one is Incredible Hulk 271. Yeah, one I was lucky enough to grab here probably about 6 months ago now, I think it was. Yeah, the first comic book appearance of Rocket Raccoon. Incredible Hulk 271. Yeah, this is one of the more obvious ones, but great cover again for all those reasons with kind of the colors and everything. Love this cover. On the census for this one, 361 CGC 9.8s in the blue label. So again, more popular, so it's not one of these sort of one of 34 ones. 361 out there, a really wanted key, and for a good reason, really cool cover. 13% is the CGC 9.8 ratio, so of all graded copies, 13% of them are CGC 9.8s. That's pretty good for this sort of early 80s book. Yeah, not super, like, you know, all the most rarest ones are single digit, but a nice rarity for Incredible Hulk 271. And yeah, since Rocket Raccoon's first appearance, it was in a magazine. I didn't write that down, the exact one, I forget, but in a magazine sort of in the mid-70s there. Wasn't on the cover, really minor appearance, and then this is a second appearance overall, first comic book appearance, but a lot of people sort of say this is his first full appearance kind of thing. I've heard that as well. We'll talk about price, because I picked this up about 6 months ago. I grabbed a newsstand version here too, looking really good in the new case, I thought, and I was able to get it direct from a well-known seller kind of in Canada, where I purchased a couple books from him off of eBay, but noticed he was on Instagram. He had this up for $699.99, and I offered $550 shipped, and yeah, he did the deal. So $550 for this one, I think, is a great deal. Certainly in the newsstand, they seem to really, some of them kind of sell for about $700 in the newsstand. So I thought that was a pretty great deal. And now with the comic book market heating up, this one, yeah, I think right around, you know, lower end of fair value, $600, you know, higher end $700, and maybe just great looking ones in the newsstand, maybe even going over $700 now. Even though the newsstands aren't even really more rare during this time, but I think people tend to focus on newsstands being harder to find in the 9.8 because they were on newsstand racks handled at like convenience stores, and you know, they weren't in the local comic shops. They were handled by people that didn't really realize that you should kind of take care of comics. So I think people kind of focused on that in the 9.8 no matter what, even though in 1982, I think there were more newsstands than directs back then. Yeah, so newsstands are less rare during this time, but not in the 9.8, I think. People tend to focus on that. So, but little detail there. But yeah, I think $600 to $700 for Incredible Hulk 271, and considering we are sort of in between Guardians of the Galaxy movies, it is kind of a decent time to buy an Incredible Hulk 271. You wouldn't want to, you know, see the third trailer drop for this third Guardians of the Galaxy movie and then like start rushing out trying to buy these, because yeah, I think by then a nice 9.8 in the newsstand, people will probably be trying to get $1,000 for it, to be honest. So next one is one I have as well, and yeah, really two exciting books to end here. Incredible Hulk 340. Yeah, definitely had to recommend this one because I do have 4 of them, so I always kind of say, like, if money talks and the amount of 9.8s that I have means that's my favorite, this is my all-time favorite 9.8. So Incredible Hulk 340. Yeah, Todd McFarlane cover, lots to love about it. Second time ever, Hulk and Wolverine fight. So it's really, I've mentioned this a lot of times as sort of the affordable alternative to Hulk 181 in the modern age. And in the 9.8, yeah, for this, you could still, you know, I think there are some completed listings going a little bit under 500 occasionally, but some still pushing 600. So I think that's kind of 475 to 600 is sort of the price range in the CGC 9.8 at this point. But yeah, looking on the census here, there's 710 CGC 9.8s out there, so a popular book. So yeah, you're getting more sort of volume on the market with a more popular book, this one for sure. One of 710, 13.8% is the 9.8 ratio though, and you really like to see that. That's a great ratio for a late 80s book like this. Yeah, this is a late 80s book, 1988 it came out in, so yeah, to kind of have a low teens in the late 80s. Yeah, kind of same, very similar 9.8 ratio to Incredible Hulk 271, kind of a good, you know, a comparison here. Yet this is a newer book, so you'd feel like, you know, it could be worth more, but it's actually, yeah, I'd say, you know, a good deal for this is about $500 to $550 right now. With the same rarity in the 9.8 as 271, maybe it should be about the same price as 271. So maybe it is Hulk 340 a little bit undervalued, possibly. But, you know, not the big first appearance, I think, is kind of the knock on this issue. But I think classic cover, classic artist, second time Hulk and Wolverine fight ever. That's a special moment, I think, in comics. So a big key, and yeah, you know what? Just doing that comparison, yeah, maybe it is undervalued, eh? But if you are looking to purchase this one in the 9.8, yeah, try for closer to 500 for sure. Like, yeah, I bought mine in the last 2 years here, all for about $400. So the market has come on a little bit. You know, pretty tough to get this one close to 400, but if you can, great. You know, hopefully the market kind of starts to cool down here a little bit, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, hopefully closer to 500. If you really want it, there are some that are selling for like $650s, like $649.99. I think I saw one sell for. So Incredible Hulk 340, though, such a wanted book, and yeah, you got that Todd McFarlane cult of fans that I am a part of on your side with you know, an Incredible Hulk 340. So yeah, great investment, great book. Last one is one I do not have, but doing the research for this video, yeah, it is. I really love the look of this cover for sure. So yeah, last one here. Incredible Hulk 377, the second print I want to talk about because I think it's attainable, the second print. And most importantly, I think it looks the coolest out of all three prints. The third print, there's only single digits in the 9.8 in that third print of this one. So not really attainable, that one. And I actually, again, I like the look of this second print the best with the black cover. Yeah, and when I was looking at the prices, I was, you know, pretty like, wow, I think this is definitely worth it to kind of get it over the first print. Because we'll look at some prices for both of them. But the second print, Incredible Hulk 377, this is the first appearance of like new Hulk when he gets a little bit like smarter and stuff. I know some people say it's like the first Professor Hulk, but you know, I looked through this in this book, and there's not really a moment where he's like talking with the glasses on, sort of a la Avengers Endgame kind of Professor Hulk. It's just the new direction for Hulk, where he's not just like, Hulk smash, brah. Like, he can actually talk and be a little bit more smarter. It's basically just a new direction for Hulk. So, yeah, sometimes when I see, like, first appearance of Professor Hulk, I think it's a bit misleading on this one. But with the second print, we'll look on the census here for this one. 62 CGC 9.8s in the blue label. Yeah, so this one's attainable. Yeah, one of 62 collector item for this great early 90s book. I think is just really cool. 20.8% is the CGC 9.8 ratio, so a nice 9.8 ratio for an early 90s book. Yeah, kind of neck and neck. It's the same as New Mutants 98, basically. First Deadpool. So, yeah, for early 90s books where most people by then knew to keep their comics in good shape and everything, they're not going to be too rare, so that's a really good one, actually. 20.8% of all graded copies are CGC 9.8s. So this second print with the black cover, I think, is just really cool. And I saw one sell on eBay for $195. And it was kind of like a buy it now type of deal. So that means I think if you're really even super patient on this one, you might even be able to get it a little bit lower than that. But I actually think, you know, given how pretty good it looks on the census, I think it's the best looking cover as far as just the looks wise and the eye appeal. One of 62 collector item, $195. I think it's worth it. Yeah, and it was looking good too. A nice new case in the CGC 9.8, $195 for the Hulk second print, black cover. I think is kind of a price target to aim for. And yeah, this is, so the first print, I actually had purchased the first print before, and it was cracked. The case was cracked. It was shipped really bad. It wasn't in a box. It was sort of wrapped in the cardboard, the dreaded wrap. And yeah, it got cracked and did return and everything, but so that one never happened. But I had purchased that one. It was $110. Yeah, it was like plus like, you know, decent shipping. And it did come from the States. So I think probably about $20 shipping. But $110 plus $20 shipping to Canada, not too bad for that book. $195 for the more rare second print, I think makes way like that's totally worth it to kind of, you know, pay $75 more, get a more rare version of the book that I think looks a lot better, because the first print is one of those just early 90s books where, you know, well printed, a lot of them out there. So this is one I think the second print really works, because yeah, the third print super rare too, and didn't really do any price research on that one in the 9.8, but it was single digits in the 9.8 on the CGC census. I did notice. So this second print though looks cooler to me and more attainable with 62 of them in the 9.8 blue label out there. $195 is the price target to aim for. I think it's totally worth that. Okay, that was it. Yeah, the 6th Incredible Hulk CGC 9.8. So get into some top picks here because yeah, I think a couple worth highlighting. I think. Incredible Hulk Annual number 5. Yeah, I kind of mentioned it right at the beginning. That one kind of looks the best on the census, and you know, first modern appearance of Groot, second appearance of Groot, whatever you want to call it, classic cover. I think that's one where, yeah, I could totally see that one, the price being a lot higher on that one. Like I think it's one where I'm like, whoa, like hell yeah, I'll pay like $350 to $400 for that with a single digit 9.8 ratio. Really classic cover from 1976, one of 36 out there. Yeah, so Incredible Hulk Annual number 5, probably my number 1 top pick for sure. Second top pick, Incredible Hulk 340, of course. Yeah, it's not like that shows you how much that Annual 5 is really a cool one, I think, because putting it ahead of my Incredible Hulk 340, which I have 4 of in the 9.8. But yeah, I got to be a top pick because for the late 80s, it's a really pretty rare 9.8. For a late 80s book, and you know, it's one that you can get. There's 710 of them out there in the 9.8. But yeah, pretty rare for a late 80s book. Cool McFarlane cover and one yeah, I'd recommend. And yeah, yeah, comparing it to Incredible Hulk 271 there was kind of eye-opening a bit. Yeah, it's good to do those comparisons for sure. My third top pick is Incredible Hulk 271. Yeah, for sure, because I did buy it, and yeah, it's definitely one I think I got a decent price on at the time for a really nice looking newsstand. And yeah, I think again now is the time to buy Incredible Hulk 271 with the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie coming out, but no real promotion for it yet. But that could hit literally any month here. I don't know exactly when the release date is for the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie. To be honest, like everyone in this list just has the reasoning to be like a really great investment grade book because yeah, like the 377 second print, I think, you know, doing the research for this video, I really love the look of that one compared to all the others, and I'm really kind of gushing over that one and feeling like I want that one, and I would have probably bought it for $195. I think that's a decent price. And yeah, Hulk 255, I've mentioned that on past videos too as just a cool non-key that I really want in the 9.8, and that one that I saw sell for $80 just made me even want it more because like such a cool 9.8 for $80. That'll be really hard to kind of get. I think that's almost rock bottom. Hopefully one does pop up in a sort of obscure auction that you can get for under $100. But yeah, I'd pay up to $150 for Hulk 255. Yeah, so all these are just, I pretty much want them all of them on the list. But yeah, I think maybe that Incredible Hulk Annual number 5 is just one worth highlighting because yeah, I just think it's undervalued and there's not a lot out there. Great collector item, single digit 9.8 ratio, kind of gets me excited. Okay, so we'll wrap it up there, and yeah, and you know, obviously, Incredible Hulk 181, first appearance of Wolverine. I love that book, and it's a bit out of my era, and even though it's just a year or two before this Incredible Hulk Annual 5, but you know, I could see myself picking that book up in a raw or something, like a great copy, because it is just a classic cover. But in the 9.8s. You know, some books that are still kind of under $1,000, I guess. All these books are, you know, still somewhat affordable in the 9.8. Really want it. I think Incredible Hulk books make really great CGC 9.8 sort of in that Bronze Age. They're really affordable. They got great covers, and yeah, definitely 6 here. Worth considering. Yeah, so I'll have the full list in the description below of the 6 Incredible Hulk CGC 9.8 comic books we talked about. If you haven't already, I would invite you to join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8. And yeah, hit the bell for all our video notifications. And add me on Instagram and Twitter too. I'll have all the links in the description below. But yeah, I really wanted to make this video. I think there's, you know, 3 or 4 here that we don't talk about a lot. So hopefully a lot of new ideas for everyone out there, I think. But yeah, that'll be all for today. Thanks so much for all the support. Message me on Instagram if yeah, you just had any questions or whatever. Probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. Alright, yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll see everyone on the next one.